How can we help and what can we do? We must understand that mental health issues in our communities, especially at the rate at which they occur, are a product of the system. So when I tell us that we have to start protesting in our everyday lives, this is what I mean. We have to change the very ways that we respond to people that are experiencing crisis, to people that are doing things in order to survive. We must address the problem, not react to the problem. North Carolina sterilized 6,460 black women between 1924 and 1974. In Puerto Rico, they sterilized 1 out of 3 women without their knowledge in 1965. The LA County Hospital was sterilizing Mexican women without their knowledge or consent from 1968 to 1964. The Tuskegee syphilis experiment was when the government used black folks as an experiment to try and figure out how syphilis impacts people. No one knew that they were intentionally being infected with syphilis. Our problems expand into all corners of our lives. They impact our health care. They impact our housing. They impact our finances. They impact every single issue. When we try and understand why is it that so many black folks in America experience poverty, why so many black folks in America have long-term health conditions, we must understand it is a product of slavery. It is a product of this nation historically abusing, this nation historically not doing right by black folks, of this nation historically using black life as an experiment to be exploited. This is why we must believe in abolition, in a better world. There are 8 things that we can do right now to lead us towards abolition and towards a better world. The first one is defunding the police. Next is demilitarizing our communities. There is no need that the New York Police Department should have military-grade weapons, vehicles, and resources. Why is it that the New York Police Department is better prepared to declare war on its people than to respond to a pandemic?
Let's talk about it.
We must remove police from schools. You've probably heard me read the statistics from the ACLU by now, if you've been with us for a few days. I'm going to go over it again, because it's important for us to realize, what do we find money for, and what do we say we have no money for? 1.7 million students are in schools with cops, but no counselors. 3 million students are in schools with cops, but no nurses. 6 million students are in schools with cops, but no school psychologists. 10 million students are in schools with cops, but no social workers. Why is it that we can find money to fund the police, to put cops in our schools, but to not put nurses, psychologists, social workers? wanted to drug me because they didn't know how to handle me. But had we had the adequate resources, had we had school psychologists, had we had social workers, had we had the resources to support me as a kid, we wouldn't have needed to resort to the easy solution and say that I needed medication. We must free people from prisons and jails. In 2008 to 2016, 35 states actually cut crime while simultaneously reducing the amount of incarcerated individuals. We must stop reacting to problems and start addressing and solving the problems. We must repeal laws that criminalize survival. For far too many people, the reasons why they are stealing food from stores is because they have no other means of obtaining food. It is their survival. We live in the richest nation on earth. How is it that we are facing these problems? We must invest in community self-governance because as you've seen at these protests, we can show up for each other. We can protect each other. We can take care of each other. We have been able to close down streets and stop cars. We have been able to provide medical care for people that need it. We have been able to feed and give water to people that need it as we're going and moving along. We know a better world is possible because we've already been creating it in small ways. We must provide safe housing for everyone. In New York City, there are about 3 empty apartments for every unhoused person. Why is it that these skyscrapers are shooting up everywhere but remaining empty because none of us can afford them? We need NYCHA, the New York City Housing Authority, to take over these skyscrapers and give affordable, good quality housing. There's no reason why when they're creating good quality affordable housing that it has to look like the projects. We deserve good quality affordable housing. For far too long, they've just thrown things together. The other day, I heard Miss Harrington from the Lower East Side talk about how when she moved there, no one wanted to live there. They had to go into buildings themselves, strip them down, and build them up. Because the government did not serve the community. It did not provide good, quality, affordable housing. We must invest in care and not cops. Yesterday, after we ended our protest, we all stayed behind and we had a conversation about what abolition is and what it looks like. It's hard to understand abolition because we've been trained to believe that how this world functions is how it will always and must function. But that's not the case. We can live in a world that centers all of us, that ensures that we all have a good quality paying job, that we all have time to spend with our families, with our friends, that we have time to take care of ourselves and are not always producing, working, and laboring laboring for a system that does not even allow us to thrive and live a good
Freddie,
life.
Freddie, this is not about this guy that is speaking. This is about the problem in our country. This is not about Yonkers. This is not about New York City. This is about the system. So remove this guy from your equation and address the issue.
And then we work towards it. And then we move towards it. And we start creating small ways like this to move towards that. What will lead us to a better world is when we hold on to our hope and to our dreams, where black kids get to be black kids, where they get to have a childhood, where they get to go and do and live and be as they want to be. Yesterday, Governor Cuomo said, "Why are you all still protesting? You won." He said, "Why are you still protesting? You guys won." Well, Mayor Cuomo, this message is for you. I want you to defund every single police department in New York State. I want you to invest that money into our communities. And I want Governor Cuomo to finally actually serve the people he's supposed to serve. I want Governor Cuomo to actually ensure that all New Yorkers have good affordable housing, have access to good quality food, have access to the things that we know we need. If we won, why are our demands not being met? We know that you're just trying to get us to go back home. But this is the thing. We've woken up and we know that we are the powerful. We know that this is the greatest threat to them. We know that all of us continuing to show up day after day is the greatest threat to an unjust system that does not serve the people. As we continue to show up in the streets, protesting police brutality and white supremacy, what do? They respond with more and more violence and police brutality. Yesterday, in Atlanta, Georgia, Rayshard Brooks was shot in the back 3 times. Rayshard Brooks was shot in the back 3 times.
Defund the police. Defund New York City Police.
Yeah, brother. They're going to try and tell us that he grabbed an officer's taser and tased an officer and that justified the ending of Rayshard Brooks' life. But we know that they were able to capture Dylan Roof alive and take him back to custody. We know that they were able to give him a meal and take him alive. Why is it that the police know what to do?
Juan, and try to use a taser justify taking the life of a man, right? Since when a taser is a deadly weapon? Police said that it's not. And deadly force is justified when a life is about to be taken away.
Nothing justifies police brutality or taking someone's life. It doesn't matter if that individual has a criminal history and past. Justice in America is supposed to be, you go before a judge, the facts are presented, and then a sentence is rendered. are acting as judge and executioner. We must demand an end. This is a modern lynching. We must call it what it is. It's hard for us to accept these facts. It's hard for me still. But we must be honest with what is going on. When we look back at history, we ask ourselves, how did they let this happen? It was good people that said and did nothing.
Juan, I guess you understand everything, correct?
It is good people that do and say nothing that allow history to commit genocide, that allow history to repeat itself. All of us here.
David, the man was shot 3 times on his back while he was running away. He could have been arrested at his house. The police knew who he was. They had identified him shooting a man in the back because he took somebody's laser. It just doesn't cut it. Police are not judges, they are not executioners, they are law enforcers.
We know that our commitment to seeing that better world is far stronger than police brutality and white supremacy. All of us now have a shared moment in history of going through a global pandemic, COVID-19. But black people in America have been facing a pandemic since we've been brought to this shore against our will. So for today, I need us to remember these things. As we march, let us remember the names of our brothers and sisters that have died.
Juan, how was he shooting? With a laser?
Remember their names so that we do not continue.
Is shooting a laser deadly?
We must demand change because a better world is possible. As we march through the streets, as we chant, as we demand justice, as we block traffic, as we shut things down, let them understand that this inconvenience is nothing compared to the loss of life that they are committing. We must ask them, why are you more concerned about protecting a building that has insurance than protecting lives that will never come back? Let us never forget why we come out here. And at the same time, as we face all of this calamity, all of this injustice, black people still manage to find joy, laughter, happiness in a world that constantly tries to crush it and kill it. Black people continue on. Imagine what black people could do if we didn't have to worry about racism, white supremacy, if we didn't live our lives constantly wondering, when will I be shot? We have a few ground rules we just want to remind everyone. If there ever is an emergency, our signal is an X above our heads. If you need assistance or have an emergency, please put an X above your head. If you see someone doing that, please also do it and point to the direction in which the people need assistance. We will get medics over who are able to help. If you have questions or need anything, please turn to one of the folks in with an orange vest. Please remember, we are non-violent. We are not peaceful, but we are non-violent. What is the difference? We are not peaceful because we are disrupting. We're getting in the way. We are ensuring that they see us, they hear us, and they feel the power of us. Under no circumstances do we engage with the police. We do not engage. If we see them, we keep it moving. Far too many times when these protests started, they would walk alongside us. And when we were least expecting it, one of those thugs would start macing us, and then they would gang up, and they would start beating us and chasing us down alleys. So we don't engage. We keep it moving. We're not giving them a platform.
I'm not afraid of the police. We should go to the police department. We should address the police. They are evil and wicked. Are you?
I understand, brother. I understand, brother. Brother, I understand.
I'm sorry, I'm just upset. I'm gonna stop.
I understand. Listen, I'm upset and angry too. I'm upset and angry too.
I'm sorry.
I understand, brother.
Blame your forefathers. Blame your forefathers.
I
Blame your history. Are you ashamed of your forefathers? You blame them for this genocide, this massacre of us as black men. We are powerful black men. You can never take me down. You can never insult me. You can never hurt me. We will fight to the end till we have no breath. Those people you see and going with the wind, those are weak, uneducated men and women. They were uneducated. We are educated. You cannot attack my mind. I am strong. These police officers are evil. They're never going to stop, and I'm not going to forgive anyone for shit. I'm not going to forgive you. You give to your black college. You give to black communities. You give to black charities. That's what you do. You know you're privileged. You know it's unbalanced. So if you look at your grandfather, I'm proud of my history. I'm sorry, just 1 second. I'm proud of my history and my forefathers and my grandfather. Look at your grandfather. You know who I apply to. How does your grandfather make his money? Look at his history. And if you damned wrong, give to us. Help us. They're never going to stop. They're never going to stop. I want to attack the police. I'm sorry, I'm going to let it go because I don't want to get evil. But I'm going to let it go. Black Lives Matter.
Mic check. Mic check. Mic check.
Mic check.
I think it's important for us to also realize that black folks who are angry are justified in their anger. For far too long, we've been told you gotta be peaceful. You gotta be quiet. Just wait. Just wait.
Fuck peace.
But listen.
Fuck peace. I'm sorry.
We gotta find ways. We gotta find
an eye for an eye. That's how I see it.
Brother, listen. Listen. The world we're trying to create, the world we're working towards, is a world where these things are not a reality. Where these things, white supremacy, police brutality, they're no longer obstacles for us. Because we show up for each other. Because we come together. Because together, this is how we solve these problems. So I'm going to finish giving us out some of our guidelines so we can start moving. If you have any need of assistance, please again turn to the folks in the vest. As we're moving, you'll see folks that are giving out water and snacks. If you need some, please go pull over to the side, grab what you need, and then get back into the protest. Please do not litter. Environmental racism is a problem impacting our communities.
David, this is our First Amendment. We have the right to protest. Somebody protests, somebody did this. Exactly the same thing for you to be able to say what you just said.
We're here because we're working towards a better world. Because we know that together, collectively, regardless of where we live, who we love, where we come from, what we believe in, we can all work together for a world that centers all of us.
Guys, remember that changes comes at the voting poll November 3rd, June 23rd, don't forget to come out and vote. Vote those who make this possible. And vote out those that make the injustice possible.
Heading out from over under the arch. Please remember, we're going to have a rope in front. Please stay behind the rope. It helps us ensure that we can make everyone move everyone safely. Please do not go on the sidewalks. Try and stay together on the street. Please also remember, we do not engage. We are non-violent. So if you have a bike, please head over first if you have a bike and would like to help out. We also need some folks in the back with bikes, so please hang out until the end. Once the bikes move, everyone else, if we can please head over, that would be great.
If you're on a bike, come to me, please. If you're on a bike, I'm going to be by the archway. Please come to the archway.
If you need a mask, please come up. We have some that we can distribute if you need a mask.
Personally, I support the protest 100%. 100%. The injustice needs to stop. It must stop. But protest in a peaceful way. No looting. No setting places on fire. No destructions. Just protest in a peaceful way. For those that are just wondering, where am I? I am in New York City, Washington Square Village. It's a group of protesters. They say they are non-violent, but they are not peaceful.
You guys over here, go to the front, please.
Oh, you got guys to the front.
You in the yellow? Sir in the yellow? So, you want the bikes in the street? Start lining up? Yeah, where is she? Matter of fact, Mary, can I get my phone? Oh, I was so confident too. I'm like, I don't have you on this? You on this side?
Joanna, I support them 1000%, as long as they protest peacefully. Those that don't support justice, it's because they have never been in a black man's shoes. It's easy to call them rioters. Yeah, some are, but I don't see no rioting here. I only see people protesting in a peaceful way, in a way it's supposed to be. This is a constitutional right that were given to us. We have the right to protest, you like it or not. Juan, going back to you. A taser. Stealing a taser. does not justify deadly force. You can flip it any way you want it. The man was shot 3 times in the back. He was shot from maybe 20-30 feet away. Did he pose a life-threatening situation to the police officers that he deserved to be shot? Couldn't the police officers pick him up later, next day? They knew who he was. Let's not justify murder just because sometimes it's done by police. People always say, look, we know we have good officers, we know we have bad officers. Well, those that are killing for no reason, just because they can, those are bad officers. I support my law enforcement 100% as well, but I cannot represent or support people like those that killed George Floyd and others. And if you support them, you are part of the problem. So far, no police seen. This is the first intersection, 8.
pictures. We're just kindly asking if you could just stay like 10 feet away, just for safety reasons, so we can continue moving things. Thank you so much.
What? You're gonna leave these in the middle of the road? Grab it, grab it.
Trip on it.
Yeah.
Can you go to the side?
Too close. But you're there too, aren't you?
You think you could be on the side though?
Media, please keep your distance. Media, please keep your distance.